I'm Maggy Andrews here at RE Colorado, and welcome to Market Watch. Since September marked the end of the third quarter and 2020 has been a pretty unusual year, I wanted to put together a special year-to-date trends report that shows some of the metrics for the Denver metro area and how 2020 compares to 2019. We're going to focus on the 11 metro counties around Denver and residential listings in particular. This is great information to share with your buyers and sellers, so watch to the end for some key takeaways that you can share with them as well. We're going to start by talking about new listings because this is typically where every transaction starts. Over the last 10 years, we've actually had our record-breaking year in 2019 with nearly 60,000 new listings hitting the market by the end of September, from January through the end of September, that 9-month time frame. Well, this year, of course, we've had some different factors that played into new listing inventory, but year to date, by the end of September, we're actually just 4% shy. And to take you back in time, at the end of May, we were negative 11% in terms of new listings as compared to 2019. So because the last 4 months have been so busy for all of you and your sellers have been wonderful about bringing new inventory on the market, we've actually seen that gap shrink from 11% less from last year to just 4% less from last year. Fun way to break down new listings is by price point as well. So this chart tells us the frequency or quantity of new listings in each price bracket. So these are broken down into $100,000 price brackets. And what you'll notice here is that the lower price points, there's actually fewer new listings available for sale in 2020 in those lower price points. In particular, that $200,000 to $400,000 range. We've seen decreases in available inventory for those price points. And then 500,000 and above, we're increasing the inventory we see year over year as compared to 2019 and 2018. What does this tell us? Of course, pricing is going up in the Denver metro area, and there's less supply of those lower price point homes and oftentimes more affordable properties, typically for first-time home buyers. So that's something to be aware of if you are representing buyers. Now let's move on to pending listings. This is fun because this has been a hot topic throughout the year. We've seen great demand from buyers, and properties have been going under contract quite rapidly. In fact, year to date, this is a record-breaking year in terms of the quantity of listings that have gone into a pending status, with over 50,000 listings in pending. This is a 5% increase from last year. And pending listings are buyer demand through and through. It tells us how frequently and how anxious buyers are to put properties under contract. It also tells us a lot about what we can expect for closings coming up. Speaking of, we'll jump over to closed listings since that's kind of the next step in the process. And again, this is a record breaker as well. We've seen over 46,000 listings hit that closed status year to date by the end of September. This is a 3% increase from 2019 at the same time. And again, demand continues to increase. We're seeing that despite low inventory, new listings being 4% shy of last year's totals, closed listings are a positive 3%. And closed listings in particular, again, to take you back in time to that end of May timeframe, at that point, we were shy 12% from the 2019 year-to-date total. So again, we have jumped up leaps and bounds to be negative 12% up to positive 3% as compared to last year for closed listings. Let's do a quick comparison here. So when I put the trend lines for new and closed listings on the same chart, what this tells us is how supply and demand are working together. I'm also going to add a line here for when that stay-at-home order was in place back in March and April, because that's obviously a very big dip that we should notate here. The supply and demand side of this is interesting on the very far right-hand side of the chart, because the closed listings and new listings are parallel to each other. Essentially what this tells us, basic economics say that if there's a shortage of supply and a surplus of demand, we're probably experiencing some inventory struggles, and pricing may be inching up as well. And I'm guessing that's probably reflective of what you've been feeling in the market the last several months. Speaking of pricing, we're going to talk about median close prices year to date. A couple things I want to point out here. Why are we talking about median versus average close price? And I'll say I really like median because it tells us what's really going on most commonly in the market. Average can be skewed by really high priced homes or really low priced homes, whereas median tells us what's most commonly happening, the most frequent scenario, the most frequent close prices. So for attached and detached properties combined, that median close price is just shy of $450,000. For single family detached, it's nearly $490,000 year to date. And this is a 7% increase from last year at this time. What's significant about this is this also covers, again, a 9-month time frame with year-to-date metrics. So this is showing us that we are continuing to see price appreciation in the Denver metro area. It's wonderful for homeowners and their equity, but it's something to be aware of to caution your buyers. Prices are going up. If they are ready to purchase something, they may want to act quickly before prices potentially continue to rise. So let's break this down a little bit further into how long listings are staying available for buyers to choose from. So this is your days in MLS, what we also call in an acronym as DIM. You may be familiar, we used to call this days on market, but again, this name has been changed with the RISO Data Dictionary. So these are the number of days a listing has been in the MLS, available as an active listing in the MLS, and we're hovering right around 8 days on median. So this is 3 days less than last year at this time. And what does this mean? This tells us that your buyers need to be ready to act quickly. Properties are not staying in the MLS very quickly or very long until they reach that pending status. So if your buyers are interested in the market, they need to be ready to jump when they see a property they like, because 8 days is not a very long time. Next up, let's break this down by price range. So essentially what this chart is telling us over the last 3 years, this is saying for each price bracket of $100,000, what is the median number of days that that listing is staying in the MLS? Typically what we would expect is that higher priced homes are staying on the market longer, right? They take longer to sell because there's fewer buyers for those higher priced homes. Well, these are shrinking. So if we look, for example, at the $500,000 to $600,000 price range in 2019, it was a median of 16 days in MLS. Well, this year, we've seen almost every price bracket decrease. So from 16 down to 10 days in MLS this year. Again, this reinforces the point for your buyers that homes are going under contract really quickly. And if they are anxious to enter the market or buy and sell a property, they need to be ready to act quickly because there's significant competition and the available inventory is being snatched up very quickly in the Denver metro area. Okay, so let's put this all together. Here are some key takeaways you can share with your buyers and sellers. Year to date, we talked about all of these year to date metrics. The market in the Denver metro area is now outpacing the 2019 year to date totals for both pending and closed listings. This count of new listings, while it's slightly lagging behind the 2019 levels, remember it was negative 4%, this is contributing to the inventory shortage that you're probably all feeling and experiencing in the Denver metro area. Compared to previous years, while there are more listings at higher price points, this is leading to less affordable housing options for your buyers. So there are fewer available properties in those lower brackets of prices. And then reduced days in MLS tell us that buyers need to be ready to make decisions quickly. This is a hot market and they are experiencing significant competition to get their offers accepted. While prices continue their upward march thanks to strong buyer demand, inventory levels continue to remain low. This has been really fun to look at the year-to-date metrics for 2020. Lots of positive signs on the market as a whole. And I hope this was information that you can share with your clients, both buyers and sellers, to help them make better decisions, right? We want to give you this information so that you can be at the center of every transaction and be the expert your clients depend on. If you have more questions about market statistics, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer care team, who's available to you 6 days a week. Or you can take an upcoming training class called Market Intel, which is a wonderful way to teach you how to run these market statistics yourself so that you can be an expert on specific geographic regions throughout the state. Hope you have a wonderful week and we will talk soon. Bye everyone.